you talk a lot about belief. And
Yes.
I've heard a lot, one of the expressions that sort of sticks in my mind is, it's almost cliche, first we make our habits, then our habits make us. And so, are you saying that a belief is like a habit of thought or something like that, that really we embrace the belief and then all of a sudden the belief dominates our life or something like that?
Yes. That is a good description. And it's not something, it may be something we embraced in this lifetime. It may be something in my beliefs that we brought over from other lifetimes.
I see.
A lot of our beliefs that are from this lifetime were created before we were as I understand it and as I perceive it, before we understood what we were doing. A lot of our beliefs come from our parents. Come when we were before the age of 5. We locked in to our belief system what is right and what is wrong. More importantly, we locked in what's possible. When one of the beliefs I locked in early, and it's been interesting to watch it, to reflect back on it as a belief, is that anything I want to do, I can do. And that was one of my mother's statements that I accepted. I realize now I accepted early on. Another of my sister didn't. And it's been really interesting to have those conversations as adults. And that could have been a statement that I saw as a mantra. She may have made it once. These things can happen in nanoseconds that we accept it in. Maybe it's maybe it's in alignment with our agenda. Maybe it's opposing our agenda. I don't know about that. But it's what is sitting so deeply in us, and it creates the decisions we make. So if you've been raised in a family where there's always plenty, and there's never talk about, there was always food on the table, and never talk about lack, or we don't have enough money for that, those kind of words, you are more likely to have a belief in the abundance of the universe, or your ability to create abundance. If you were brought up in a family, same amount of money in both families, by the way, where there was a focus on, now we've got to balance the budget, now let's not spend too much, now we don't know where the next dollar's coming from, okay? And a lot of us were raised by Depression-era parents. Then you very likely have a belief of limitation and lack. So they're not like we decide their beliefs. We pick them up from everything around us, and then we choose to integrate them, and they become beliefs. And to shift that belief, and by the way, the interesting thing of a belief is, there are people out in the world, and there's lots written up psychologically about this, who have millions and are still poor because they have a belief there's not enough. And we wonder why some of these people, why is somebody still taking more millions and ends up in jail and going to jail when they've got all this plenty? It's because despite all the plenty, they can't see it. They have a belief in lack. It's never enough. Where you may have someone else who we look at and say, they don't have anything, and they're utterly delighted with life. And it's because they have a perception, a belief, that the universe will always provide for me. I will always be able to have plenty. And this doesn't mean they sit back and don't do anything. It just means they don't worry about it. So they live within their means, and they're delighted by life. Most of us right now, particularly the baby boomers, are living in a belief of lack. And that's why the greed, that's why all of that has been happening, because it's baby boomers coming up through lack, baby boomers who their parents tried to give the very best, who never had to live without, but still live in lack.